Question is why we light 8 days of menorah? Why do we have menorah for 8 days? Why do we celebrate for 8 days if the miracle is only 7 days? That's one question of Beis Yosef. There's another famous question of Beis Yosef, and that is he points out that when we look at the Al Hanisim, so every single thing in Al Hanisim is davar v'hifucho. It's one and it's opposite. So, for example, we say Giborim biyad chalashim, right? That the Giborim, the mighty, were lost in the war to the chalashim, to the weakers, or Me'im biyad tahorim, the impure to the pure. Everything's the exact opposite. But there's one that doesn't seem to be an opposite, and that is v'zeidim biyad oskei sarasacha. The Zeidim in the hands of the oskei sarasacha. So he says that. What's a Zeid, the opposite of the Oskei Torah Sacha? Should have been the person that is Mevatel Torah in the hands of the Oskei Torah Sacha. What is the idea of the Zeidim in the hands of the Oskei Torah Sacha? And he says it's based on a pasuk, and therefore the word Zeid is together with the word Osek in Torah, and therefore it's okay. The question though is, at the end of the day, why? What's the relationship between the two things? Okay, so we have to understand what is the definition of the word Zeid. That's the start. So we find the word in a few different places in the Chumash. For example, the first time we find it is in Parshas Toldos, when Yaakov is buying the birthright from Esav, right? And he cooks for Esav the lentil soup. So the pasuk says, "Vayazed Yaakov Nazir." Perek Chafei pasuk Chavtes. Vayazed Yaakov Nazir. So what does that mean? Vayazed Yaakov Nazir. So Rashi says that v'yazed means lashon bishul. It means to cook. So he cooked him something. The question is, if he cooked him something, they'll just use the word levashel. They use mevashel, him a bishul, a tafshil. What's this lashon of v'yazed Yaakov Nazir? So the Ksav HaKabbalah, he says as follows. He says that there's a difference between bishul and vayizud, Zeid. He says that bishul is at the very end, like when the last moment when the food becomes edible. So you take something that wasn't edible and makes them something that you could eat. The term now is used sometimes like if a person's not ready yet to get married, so they say that he needs to be mavashal a little bit. Like he still has to cook a little longer. And you have to get there to the point where he's now ready for consumption. Okay, so he says that vayazed is more the hachana point. It's beforehand. It's like when you're just getting things going. So he says like when the water is on the fire and it's just starting, the fire is starting to like overtake the water and starting to create the bubbling, right? It's starting to get there to the cooking. The heat is overpowering what's the elements over there. That's the word vayazed. He says that's why we have in Sefer Devarim that we use the word very, very loosely, mazid. When someone does something on purpose. It's actually not really found so much in the Chumash. It's like one time in the entire Chumash that lashon is used. So what's the idea of mazid? Someone does something on purpose. So he says that because how can someone come to do an aveira? He has to overpower his natural tendency. He has to come and take over. Anytime something takes over something else, he overcomes something that's less powerful. That is the lashon of Zeid. So the heat overpowers the water, right? Overpowers the cholent and starts to cook it. So that's vayizod. When someone does an aveira of the mazid on purpose, so you have to stir up a lot of energy. You have to have very very strong cheshek to go ahead and do this thing that overpowers the natural tendency of what you normally would do. And Rav Tzadok in Tzidkas HaTzadik in Reish Nun 250, he says the same idea. He quotes other psukim. He says, for example, when the pasuk says that someone murders someone else, the pasuk says V'chi yazid ish al re'eu lahargo. So he's coming to murder someone. So he points out that we don't find by any other aveira if a person that it says if he comes to do something b'mezid. Because obviously a person does something b'mezid. So what does it mean by murder? It says you have to really hate this guy to kill him, to murder him. You have to like burn up inside you. You have to like fire up inside you. You have to cook up inside you such intense desire to go ahead and overpower him and to kill him that he used the lashon of vayizo. So that's the same idea. That this lashon of Zeid is coming and with a tremendous passion and a tremendous fire to come and overpower the basic elements. And Chanukah explains that what was Yaakov doing when Esav came back from the field? It says that he was ayef. He was all tired. He was all tired from killing, right? Meaning all his passion, all of Esav's passion was going towards murdering, killing, hunting. And now he was tired, he was burnt out, because those passions, the physical passions, when you put it into nothingness, at the end of the day, it just dies. At the end of the day, it's like you're just burnt out. You can't do it anymore. So Yaakov seized the moment, and he saw that he was burnt from that passion. He went ahead and he used a different passion. Like he says, he had such a passion to get this the Bechorah, he had to go in and get this birthright. He knew that this was the way for the future of Klal Yisrael, for what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted. He was so passionate about the Ruchnius that he went ahead and he was Yizod. He went ahead and he overpowered the situation and grabbed the opportunity of a lack of passion for the passion that he wanted, that he thought was important, to go ahead and do what he did. So we see that the lashon of Zeid is to overtake and to burn up with a passion to create a change. It happens to be in the letters Zayin and Daled. We see that because the letter Zayin, Rabbi Bachai says in Parshas Vayechi by the Brach of Yehuda, he points out that in the Brach of Yehuda that Yaakov gave Yehuda, there's no Zayin in the entire parsha. It's the only letter that's missing. So Rabbi Bachai says, why is there no Zayin? He says because Zayin represents the clay Zayin, it represents weaponry. And Yehuda, who's the Melech, the king of Klal Yisrael, had to realize that as powerful as he's going to be, it's not his weaponry that's going to win the wars. It's always HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore, there's no Zayin over there. So that's the lashon of, that's the letter Zayin. Zayin represents clay Zayin. It means weapons and strength and power. And Daled, the Gemara says in Shabbos, Daled is the lashon of Dal, it means the poor person. It says Gimel Daled. Gimel is Gomel, Gomel Chesed, Tehu, to the Daled. The Daled is turned away from the Gimel is walking towards the Daled. The Daled is facing the other direction, and represents the poor person. The Daled is the weak one. So the Zayin represents the clay Zayin, the weaponry, the power, the passion that comes before the Daled overtakes the Daled, overtakes the poor person. That's the lashon of Zeid. So what do we see? That the Zaidim refer to people that are very passionate. They're very passionate, that they'll do crazy things. They'll use their passion to fight and to destroy and to ruin and to get rid of. And that's what the Yevanim were. The Yevanim had a tremendous passion to get rid of all of our belief system. They didn't care if we were around, but they just wanted to make sure that they Hellenize us, that we wouldn't be thinking the way that we're supposed to be thinking. The Torah wouldn't be governing our lives. Kedusha, the idea of Shabbos and Bris Milah, and all these things that elevate beyond the norm, they were trying to overtake and overpower with their passion for what they believed in to destroy us. So what's the opposite of that passion? That passion that, again, it's not just an item. They didn't want us to keep Shabbos. It's the passion to get rid of all of those hashkafos that the Torah teaches us. So what's the opposite of that? So the opposite is oskei Torah secha. It's not enough to learn Torah. Learning Torah is good, it's important. People do it on a daily basis, that's very commendable. That's not enough. It's oskei Torah secha. Oskei means that we're busy with it. The only time you're ever busy with something is when you're passionate about it. Right? You're not going to wait online at the store and ask the person in front of you what he's learning in yeshiva. If you're not passionate about that, you could go on your phone, you could do this, you could do that, a lot of other things that you could do. But if you're passionate about Torah, so then wherever you are, whenever you are, you want to learn more, and you want to understand more, and you want to share more. It's something that totally overtakes. And that's what a real Ben Torah is. A Ben Torah is someone who's oskei Torah secha. We're saying that our davening, obviously, birchas Torah, lasok b'divrei Torah. We're not just saying we're lomdei Torah secha. We want to go ahead and be osek in it. You should be busy with it. Meaning that we have to have a passion. You have to have a tremendous passion for it, and that's where the passion has to be. So the Greeks, they had their passion. and they were Zaidim, and their passion was to be stronger and to have their sports and whatever it was. And our passion cannot be in that direction. Our passion can't be for those things. Our passion has to be osek in Torah. And therefore, the Zeidim Biados Ketor Sacha is mamish davar bifucho. It's the opposite, because it's about the passion. And we have to try to think about, through our Chanukah, where does our passion lie? What are we passionate about? Are we passionate about those things that at the end of the day, we'll put a lot of effort in, and 2-3 years down the line we'll turn around and we'll say, Ayef Anochi. Like Aish said, I'm burnt out. Like, what is this? Like, what did I accomplish in the last 2 years? What did I accomplish in the last 3 years? What did I accomplish in the last 10 years? Are we going to turn around one day and say, where is that? Or are we going to allow our passion to be in growth, our passion to be in Oskei Tarasecha? Yeah, it could be that we'll be in school, it could be that we'll be working, but when we have that opportunity to learn, are we going to learn, something simple and fast and superficial, or we're so passionate? I gotta learn more. I gotta learn deeper. I gotta learn new things. I gotta learn hard things, not just the easy things. Where is our passion going to be? And the Vadim tried to get rid of our passion. They tried to get rid of anything that would take us to anything higher. And we have to make sure that our passion is in the right areas. And it's something that for our whole lives, okay, I'm a little older than you. I still have to work on that. I still have to work on where is my passion? Is it going in the right direction? Am I aiming for the right things? Do I have the right goals? Do I have the right strategies? Do I have the right hashkafos? It's something that never stops. And one thing that, I don't know, I feel, could be a lot of you agree with me, but when I have to travel around and I get to see different people from different communities, so one of the things that I see is a lack of passion. There are a lot of issues, but a lot of the issues that exist are because people aren't excited. They're not excited about Yiddishkeit. They're not excited about Torah. They're not excited about being a Jew. People are scared about being a Jew. People are nervous to walk outside, looking a certain way, or their kippas, or they're not passionate. They're not excited. They're not burning. That's what we have to. That's what we have to make sure that we're working on in ourselves. It has to be. We have to build the excitement, and we have to share that excitement with other people that haven't had the opportunity to learn with us or experience Eretz Yisrael, experience yeshiva, experience all the incredible brachas, like all of you were saying before, going around the room. Like there's Ein Sof of all the things that we're grateful for, but we have to turn that into a passion. We have to make sure that we're on fire, and we have to give that fire to other people. We have to remember one of the people. Not sitting in this room right now, but one of our chevra that was thinking about coming back this year, wasn't sure. His parents weren't sure they were going to let him, and then they had a shal shidduch. It was a shal shidduch, and there were a bunch of the guys in this room that were at that shal shidduch, and the tremendous singing and excitement. And the mother said, like, after seeing the passion that all the guys had, how could she not let her son go back to that? And that's what speaks. It's the excitement. Of course, we have the ideas of Torah. We have to learn, we have to understand, we have to know these things, we have to become more consistent, we have to work in adabing, all those types of things. But it all has to come with a passion. It has to come with a bren. And the more that we can work on that, and it should never die out. We should never just try to maintain what we accomplished in yeshiva. It's important to always build that passion and to keep that fire going and going. Bez Hashem, that will be the annihilation of the Zeidim that tries to overtake us in every generation. And Bez Hashem will be able to use that passion to bring the Mashiach. Amen.